So this is going to be a controversial topic that people are going to disagree. People are going to agree. People may even scrutinize and come at me sideways and be mad. But it's a topic we must talk about. And this is another Yap session by Pryoxis. And feel free to mute your phone and just watch the gameplay. Or you can, close your phone and just listen to me talking about this topic. Or you can do both. And I highly recommend you guys do both in this one, because what I'm saying really applies to this fight right here. And I'm going against Sean Strickland while using Israel Adesanya. We know Sean Strickland for being a fighter that is a pressure fighter, right? He likes to pressure people and he doesn't throw crazy amounts of strikes. But wait till you see at the end of this fight how many punches he's thrown. And today's topic is going to be basically, has UFC players gotten better, or has the game gotten easier to play? Now, let me say this. I do think whichever side that you do choose, whichever one that you do pick, you're not wrong and you're not necessarily right. At the end of the day, it's an opinion, and no one's opinion is just straight up wrong, right? And I'm on the side of playing both sides, I'll be completely honest with you. So I feel like there's perks to people getting better and there's perks to the game just getting easier. If we're being completely honest, I don't think UFC 5 was designed for comp play. Yes, it was designed for the game being realistic, but that was more so the aesthetics and the way the game looked versus the way the game played. And let's talk about the first side, right? The first side is going to be, has the players gotten better? And I'll 100% say the players have gotten better. And it's a few reasons, right? The players gotten better, in my honest opinion. One, because it's just more people playing the game. So it's more people to figure stuff out and understand the meta. That's one way. Two, there's more content creators now. There's more people showing things that are unique or showing things that work and other people will pick up on. Unfortunately, the game doesn't have great tutorials. So a lot of stuff has to be learned through tutorials. And I'll give you two content creators, for example, that are really good at just straight up winning. And the first one's going to be Goat 1099 and the second one's going to be Nas UFC. Now, they both possess different traits of the way that they like to win, right? The way Goat, and something that I picked up on Goat, what he's really good at is timing. He has really, really good timing and predictability. He's really good at predicting when you're going to throw something, and people will pick up on that. For example, one of the best head kickers in UFC gaming is Goat 1099 for sure. And it's not because, he just throws them a lot. No, he just times them really well. And that's something other people will pick up on. Okay, when does Goat throw the high kick? Does he throw it here? Does he throw it here? Does he throw it before they throw? Does he throw it after they throw? Is he trying to intercept them? And that's where, in my honest opinion, Goat is best at. It's catching you when you move forward with the high kick. And a lot of people in the community picked up on what Nas UFC does. By the way, guys, there is no game audio. It's going to kick in sometime now. I don't know why when I was recording it had no game sound, but nonetheless, just informing you. But Nas UFC, for example, is somebody that has changed the dynamic of the game as well. The way people play, the way people like to move their head, the way people like to try to counter. I think he's really good at moving his head and landing counter shots while pressuring you. That's something that I picked up on from Nas UFC, and a lot of other people have picked up on it. Now, personally, I don't do it much, but the pull game, everyone pull countering, everyone slip countering, that's something that I would say Nas has. If he didn't originate it, he put it on the map, right? And a lot of people pick up on it. A lot of people do it, and honestly, a lot of people from the UK are doing that as well. I see that a lot from the people overseas. Not too much with the Americans, but they do it. But a lot of the people in the UK, because they used those fighters, right? And they're just clean. Conor McGregor, perfect example. They're just really clean with Conor McGregor doing that head movement stuff. And then you look at someone like Ed Parker, and he will use head movement to more so evade and counter you to the body, versus Nas that would you counter you to the body and the head. Because Ed Parker, his way of playing is about getting a stamina advantage and making you just suffer and not be able to play the game, because you have to now worry about your body health and worry about your stamina. You can't just throw much, right? And players have gotten better. I think just the overall dynamic and the way people have had much more time to play the game, and the game hasn't changed much. Eventually people are going to get better. A great example is Super Smash Bros. That game has a game come out every how many years? So people just get better, and the meta changes in that game still to this day, right? The tier list changed in that game still, and the game's been out for a very long time. So players eventually get better. They learn something. Okay, I can do this here, I can do this here. And that's just same way it goes for UFC gaming. And we look at the other side of the coin and we say, okay, well, has the game gotten easier? And let's really break that down and look at it. And we're talking about from UFC 3 to 4 to 5. I won't talk about UFC 2 because it doesn't play like UFC, these UFCs anymore, right? It's a completely different dynamic besides a little bit of the grappling. And I will 100% say I think the game has gotten easier to play, and there's a few aspects of that has made it easier, and one of those is going to be what my opponent is doing here to me. Pressure fighting has gotten easier, not because pressure fighting itself is just strong. It's the things that make up pressure fighting. Stamina, right? As I said before, Sean Strickland is a fighter that pressures you. He doesn't necessarily pressure you with a lot of strikes, but you'll notice here with my opponent, he's throwing a lot of punches, and at the end of the fight you will see how many he's thrown and how much more he threw than me. And the game's very forgiving on stamina, which allows people to throw this much. Now you can say, oh well, you can just counter damage isn't as strong as it needs to be itself as well. Unfortunately, I do think counters are strong, I will say that, but you must counter them basically with really, really strong shots, or they have to throw something crazy. And some people may disagree, some people may agree there, but personally I genuinely think that counters could be stronger in this game, especially when you're using a counter puncher, right? And someone's really aggressive, moving forward, going crazy. But let's look at other aspects of pressure fighting, right? Or just the game itself, and that's going to be damage. A lot of people are able to withstand a lot of damage, too much damage if you ask me, especially from power punchers. I'm not saying Israel Adesanya is a power puncher, but he has really good accuracy, he has really good timing, and that's what makes his punches hit so hard. Or I could just say, for example, you go to the heavyweight division and people are actually able to land a lot of punches, and heavy punches at that, and your opponent can just eat damage, and it just doesn't make any sense. So that aspect makes it easier for people to play the game, because now the risk reward, or more so the risk, is not really as much as a risk as it needs to be. And now another aspect is going to be the knockdowns. I think a lot of people can agree with me right there, is people will take so many knockdowns in this game and not only get knocked down, that's the problem, they'll spring back up as if they didn't just get knocked down, which creates a big problem. And I'm not sure if you guys have ever been knocked out or have been rocked or knocked down, but it's very unrealistic. It makes no sense for someone to basically hop back up as if they're the Undertaker, or hop back up as if they didn't just get their whole equilibrium knocked off to the point where they fail. And that is honestly something I do hope to see change in UFC 6, is people, the risk. Oh man, if I get countered, I may get dropped and I may get finished. And just that right there will cause people to not throw as much crazy shots, because they know the counter is there. And whether you agree or disagree with me there, facts are facts. People are getting knocked down 3, 4, 5, 6 times and hopping back up like the Undertaker. I mean, I did it. I got knocked down in this fight right here. I'm not sure if you noticed it, but I got knocked down in this round, right? And then I got up, and then I got hit with another shot, and I got knocked down again. If it isn't this round, it's going to be the next round that it happens, and it's just something that shouldn't happen, right? It doesn't make any logical sense for that to happen, and that's my biggest issue with the game. Also, we think about the blocking system, right? When it comes to pressure fighting, What about the blocking system, Pry? And this is something that I have complained about, or I have said something about, and EA has made it a point for them to look to, they've changed it, they fixed it, they've worked on it. But as you can see here, my block is, look at my block. Round 3, I'm holding on by a thread with my block, and it's because my opponent's just throwing a lot of punches. Now, granted, he's not throwing like extra heavy power shots. He's throwing a lot of jabs, a lot of crosses, you know, the hooks. But they're just eating and eating and eating my block, which is now causing me to have to play a certain way in order to deal with it. And he could just keep moving forward, throwing the jab, pressure my block. You see here, my block is completely gone. So now, right, it's going to be tough. And also, if you didn't notice, I have his lead leg cooked, right? Which in real life, if you kick someone's leg, right, they're going to be cooked. They're going to be fried. You see, I get the knockdown here. I get another knockdown. And you see it, he just hops back up and goes back to pressure fighting. That is exactly what I'm talking about. It just doesn't make sense. He hops back up and there's no stun, there's no wobble, there's no wrist, there's no, man, he just knocked me down, I make it knocked down again. It's just very robotic. As I rock him again, and he rocks me. So that's something that I would like to see different in future UFC games. It's just the game feeling like there's more risk reward, and once you do that, you're gonna see a whole different level of skill, because you're not gonna be able to go crazy and everything be so free. And I know you guys are gonna be like, well, it's not free. Yeah, but it's free to the point where you're not getting punished heavy enough. I mean, I can slip a jab and hit you with a straight right hand and you could possibly sleep. Now, I don't want it to get to that point where everyone's fishing for counters and that's the only way they want to play the game. But I do want there to be more risk when looking to be extra aggressive or even just getting countered. I'm not even saying, oh, I want everyone to just play on the back foot. No, because it's annoying fighting back foot fighters. But what I'm saying is, if you get caught with something, even if you're on the back foot and you're circling, you circle into a shot, it should hurt more. Or there should be a risk of you getting knocked down, or you lean into a punch, you get knocked out. Certain things just should happen more in the game, and that's, in my honest opinion, is what makes the game seem like it's just easier. And again, I play both sides, but I will say the game seems to be easier due to the game just being more forgiving. And once that does change, I definitely think the player skill, you're going to start to notice a lot of other people's skill, or a lot of people are not going to be as good as you thought they were, because the game just lets them be free. And that's not me taking a dig or disrespecting nobody. Like right here, I got knocked down, I got up, I got knocked down. Now I'm going to hop right back up as if I didn't just get punched down to the ground 2 times in a row. And that's my biggest issue. That's one of my biggest issues here with the game. It's just, it's zombie-like. It's Undertaker-esque, right? But nonetheless, that's kind of my TED talk with that one. I can do the more so commentating, talking about this fight right here, guys. And this dude right here, honestly, put the bed. This dude right here was the example of what I'm talking about in this game, because he didn't show me, or I didn't feel like he had any skill. I just felt like I was fighting against the game mechanics, more so to say. And I'm not trying to disrespect him. I'm just speaking from a point of experience, right? Now I'm going to show you guys these stats coming up at the end of the fight, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. He pressured my block, and that's fine. I'm not mad at the pressure, the block pressure, or whatever the case may be, because that's just the way the game is. But my issue is how easy it is to do this, and how being countered doesn't really feel like it's risky enough, right? And also, I didn't even speak on this. It's the body shots. You throw a body shot, they block it. You have a lot of time to hit a counter, right? You have a lot of time to counter than when you block a body shot. And on top of that, you get more time to counter, and the punch does extra damage, which, in my honest opinion, is just too much of a reward. You're giving 2 things for 1, right? The 2 things you possibly can get when you block a body shot is 1, a larger window to counter, 2, more damage. And what does the guy get that throws the body shot? Yeah, a weak body shot that you hope to do more damage in the future. But this is what I'm talking about. And I'm going to pause this right here on this screen because nothing else matters, right? He threw 439 punches and only landed 131, right? I threw 294 and landed 121, meaning that he only landed 10 more punches than me and actually threw 145 more punches. Keep in mind, I kicked his lead leg into oblivion, which would in real life result to him having to switch stance, which he did, and making his power go down and put him in an uncomfortable position. I don't know Sean Strickland for fighting in a southpaw stance, but maybe he has. But I know Sean Strickland for fighting in that orthodox stance, in that Philly shell, that awkward ass style that he has. But obviously this is a video game, so it's going to be a little bit different. But nonetheless, what are you guys' opinions on my talking points? What are you guys' opinion on this overall? Again, you're not right, you're not wrong. I just want to genuinely know how you feel. But with that being said, y'all do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe up, and turn notifications. I'll catch you boys and girls in the next one, all right? See you.